The next simple thing you can do with Starfish is to view your students. And the student view is going to change based on the user role, meaning if users being yourselves, faculty member, advisors, student support services, things such as the specialist in the BLC, each one of us has a role defined in Starfish, and then that role will then dictate the views we have. If we have students, you may see students within your classes. If you are also an advisor, you'll see the students you advise. So I just want to preface that before we start taking a look at students, that not everyone sees the same. It all is based on rules and the role that you're in. To access your students, quite simple. You go up to the tab up top. You then can highlight the word students, click on the down arrow, and the first thing you're going to want to do is click on My Students. This will be the broadest or the highest level of all students. As you can see, some of us will see well over 700 students down in this right-hand corner, a number count. Others will just see the specific students who are in our classes or students that we advise. So again, everyone has a different view of students. One of the things I like the most of this side of the application, Starfish, is what you can see about the student. Quickly, if I come over and I hover over, let's say, one student's name, without clicking on it, I quickly get to see a picture of the student. I get to see the student's name. I get to see a phone number, and that particular phone number happens to be the phone number, in this case a cell number, that is listed in the Blackbaud Student Information System, and I have direct access to the student's email. I find this very helpful because now you've got kind of a quick launch pad of resources right there for you if you need to be doing something with a student, whether it would be issuing a kudo, something that has gone on well with the student, or you need to raise a flag, something that possibly you want to raise as regards to an issue. So that's the quick view of the student. But if I click then on the student's name, I open up a student's folder. And the student's folder is very similar to that of a desktop folder or file cabinet folder, but it's your folder for this student. And in this particular case, you see you've got many different tabs here. Let me just click on a couple of them. I suggest one of the things you're going to want to do is go off and look at your own students, because you'll find different information about your students in here. One example would be courses. And this ties directly to the course that I'm involved with the student, so I get to see this. I get to see the instructor information. I even get to see the absences that the student might have in that particular class, and I'll go over absences in just a little bit. I can click on a tracking tab, or if there's something I'm tracking with a student, and a tracking action could be something tied to a flag that has been raised. Both can also be tied to a kudo, but you can actually initiate a follow-up that is needed by the student, and that would be tracked. We have the meeting tab to see if there's any meetings scheduled with a student. In this particular case, I had requested a meeting with a student. However, I canceled it, but it is still being tracked, and it resides in the student folder that I did have a meeting that was canceled, and I initiated that cancel. We also have some meeting notes that we can take. Nice area just to keep some notes after you have a meeting with a student. One of the most can see as an instructor about the students network. And the students network, and you might have heard terms such as the student success network, really consists of anyone here at Mitchell who has a relationship with a student in the form of an instructor, a specialist, can be a coach, anyone who interacts with a student on a daily basis and who is involved in their academic success. In this particular case, you can see by the names and pictures and the roles that this particular student has the following folks within her network. And one of the nice things is, again, you get to see this for the first time as an instructor, as an advisor. And in the past, it was always tough to find this information unless you had access directly to Blackbaud's student information system. The student has the same view in their dashboard environment too. So I think that's a very nice feature. We'll then close the folder. Let me also click on the tab up here next to My Students where it says Tracking. If I happen to be tracking students, as I said earlier, based on concerns, which would be a flag, or even tracking students with regards to a kudo that you might have issued that you want to have the student follow up with you. You have a tracking opportunity, and pretty much everything's here in kind of a dashboard view. The next tab over, you have attendance. Now, this attendance information is fed directly from your faculty portal. So as you enter attendance information on a daily basis, it updates overnight, and you now have a chance to see the attendance information right away and take some immediate action. In this case, what I can do is come over to the student's name, click on it, and this is an example where I would go ahead and issue a flag with concern about the student's attendance. In the next video tutorial, we'll cover in more detail how to issue flags and also how to issue kudos. When done with the student folder, you close it down and click on the Home tab.